Hey guys, hey girls, guys and girls. It is good to be with you today on Read Through the Word. It just seems there is a theme going on here in our lessons this year, and I see it, and I'm wondering if it is the Lord just opening my eyes. Therefore, I get the opportunity to help open your eyes. And I kind of feel like that's what it is, but there is definitely a theme going on here. I'll tell you, when I read just the portion of our scripture today about Ahaz closing the temple. So you've got 2 Chronicles 28, 16 through 21. And then you have 2 Kings 16, chapter 16, 18 through 10 through 18. And then, of course, 2 Chronicles 28, 22 through 25 is a continuation of the story. So that it's pretty much that last section, those last sections. Actually, no, they're not the last sections of the reading. They're not. They're kind of in the middle of the reading. Okay, I babbled. Sorry. It grieved me. Is it grieving anyone to watch? I feel like I'm watching. I know we're just reading, but is it grieving anyone besides me that God's people are continuing to reject him and chase after, prostitute themselves with, sacrifice themselves on the altar of lesser gods? And it's not like this is the first time I've read the Bible. I've read this book through a few times, and the story hasn't changed. The story hasn't changed. But this year, I just have such grief in my heart. And I was looking over my notes. Y'all know what I'm about to say, don't you? Yeah, you do, because you've been around me for a while. I'm looking over my notes before I'm about to teach, just saying, Lord, this is yours. These are yours. And I feel the Spirit saying, my people, and I know who God's talking to here. I'm not mixing the people groups. I'm not mixing the message. Okay. My church. Let me clarify that. My church believers are missing out on all that I want to give them. They have cheapened the cross. They have cheapened Calvary for the altar of lesser gods. And it grieves me greatly. There's a purification of some things, some personal things that, let me just change that. There is some uprooting. I don't want to even make it sound like it's good by calling it purification. It's some uprooting that's going on up in my heart right now and in my life. My journey that I thought was just, God is, I went to a women's conference last weekend in Indianapolis, and everywhere I went, my toes got stepped on. And y'all, it really wasn't even the content of the conference. It really wasn't going in and sitting and listening to other people speaking. It was just walking the halls and just, you got a problem, girl, and we got some work to do. Oh my goodness. And then I come home and I start teaching or studying and getting ready for these lessons, and I see the evidence of me right in front of me. I am putting things in my life and myself, my own life, on the altar of lesser gods. No wonder we're getting less than. We have cheapened Calvary. We have made a mockery of the sacrifice and the suffering that Christ suffered on our behalf. We have cheapened the gift of salvation by looking to and participating in, prostituting ourselves to the lesser gods of this world. Oh my goodness. There's so much to learn from these ancient scriptures. These prophecies and these punishments were written for God's people, his beloved Israel, now divided into two kingdoms with sometimes simultaneous awful, terrible kings, neglecting him and his life-giving statutes. And honestly, y'all, I'm just looking at the time. I'm already 6 minutes in and I haven't really even started. You guys can read, honestly. I'm just pouring my heart out. In times of trouble, the altar of lesser gods will turn our heads when we are least expecting it, especially in times of trouble. Ahaz is in trouble, and he seeks the king of Assyria for help. What I read about this is that kings just did not go back and forth and hang out. It says here at that time, King Ahaz asked the king of Israel for help. The armies of Edom had again invaded Judah and taken captive, okay? Then it says that Ahaz went to Damascus to meet with the king of Assyria. I'm not going to try to say his name. Maybe we'll call him King T. All right. It's not frequent for them just to send a message and go, hey, I'm coming over. Peace. I'm time out. I'm coming over there. This was not a common thing. He was intentional in going to a lesser power, putting himself up on the altar of the lesser god, of the lesser power, because he didn't trust God. And while he's there, his head's turned his head. Because here's the thing, when we're in trouble and we've got things going on and we think God's neglected us, for some reason he's forgotten about us, we start looking around for other things, other help. Lesser gods are going to offer victory and protection. They're going to be camouflaged. They're going to be camouflaged. The king of Syria offered help. He offered protection. So did Yahweh. So did God. And God had already told him back over in, where is it? Isaiah 7. Did I put that down somewhere? Isaiah 7, 3 and 7. This invasion will not happen. They're only going to go so far. Isaiah said, this is not going to be. Don't worry about this. Go back over and read Isaiah 7. That link's there in your scripture. Go back and read that. They didn't believe God. So the bottom line is, this is what we do every time our head turns to the lesser God and we climb up on that altar of that lesser God and we seek that lesser God. This is what happens. It's telling God, I don't believe you. It's telling God, I don't trust you. And it's telling God, I don't have any respect for you, really. Really, bottom line, I don't. Because you're just letting me hang out over here in trouble. You're letting me hang out over here out of your protection. Friend, God is never not protecting you. He is never not protecting me. He will never forsake us. He will never leave us. It may look that way, because look over back in Chronicles 28:19. The Lord was humbling Judah because King Ahaz of Judah, for he had encouraged his people to sin and had been utterly unfaithful to the Lord. Sometimes, hear me, sometimes what's happening in my life is not Satan. I think I said this a while back. It's God humbling me. So, oh my goodness. Do I trust God? Do I believe God? Do I respect God? Bottom line is, those are our questions that we need to ask ourselves. The moment we remove and make replacements of the things of God to altars of the less of God, we lose our independence, because here it is. We are subject to, or we are subject to that and to whom we submit ourselves to. What heathen have I allowed into the holy? Wow. Keep your eyes, Wendy, on Yahweh. Keep yourself, Wendy, on the altar of God. And when I keep my eyes, when I'm climbed up on that altar, what am I looking at? I can only keep my eyes on God. I don't have any, I'm forced to look up. I'm forced to look up. The lesser gods will always let us down. See you next time on Read Through the Word.